Sir, what are the tips you would like to give to the Indian research scholars so that they are able to craft a research paper in a better way, just as like the students from abroad countries do?
Yeah, I guess I can talk a little bit about the crafting of manuscripts in general. I think, so the journal that I'm currently serving as editor of, this is the AMS Review. We are interested in articles that are conceptual in nature, articles that are aimed at theory development, as opposed to theory testing. So theory testing articles focus on typically empirical investigations where you have certain propositions, hypotheses, and the purpose of the paper is typically to test, I think, whether your underlying propositions, hypotheses, are valid in a particular context. The journal AMS Review really is very interested in developing ideas, concepts, new relationships, new nomological networks, models, for example, that can provide insights about a phenomenon, develop new propositions, new hypotheses later on that can be tested in empirical investigations down the road. So as far as the contextual differences are concerned, and this applies not just to like for Indian scholars in India and other scholars in other parts of the world, one of the most important things to keep in mind, to make a contribution at world-class journals is to make a strong connection between what I could call context and concept. A lot of papers that are focused on an interesting question, unfortunately, sort of make the investigation, whether it's empirical or conceptual, so contextual that readers of that paper sometimes feel that the insights from that paper pertain only to that particular context. Of course, in research, whether it is conceptual or empirical in nature, we are interested in generalizable insights. So if there's a scholar, for example, that has an opportunity to work on a very interesting contextually driven phenomenon in India, whether it is e-services or it could be some other aspect, I think, of marketing. So certainly worthy of investigation, but it is also important for the writer, for the author, to help the readers understand how the contextually driven findings have broader implications for concept development, theory development more broadly. So that is the part where I think a lot of papers that are on interesting topics struggle, I think, through the review process, because the authors have not done a very good job in helping readers understand the broad generality, the broad applicability of the findings that could be from an interesting context, but by itself is not going to be persuasive. I think so. I guess to answer your question, context-driven research is absolutely admirable, but authors of those kind of papers should reflect deeply about what are the broader conceptual and other ramifications of those particular findings, and make sure that those kinds of implications, the broader implications, are explicitly discussed in some detail in the paper.
And sir, how was your experience at the third Pan IIM World Management Conference at IIM Indore?
Well, I have to say, I think as I mentioned to several people that I met, I think including the FPM scholars, some of the scholars, the faculty members, I also talked to some of your IPM students, and my experience has been very positive. I think right from where I was picked up at the airport, and the hospitality that people have shown here, I think it shows that Indore, IIM Indore, I think is a very, very special campus, and I think the Pan IIM conference, I think, is a good reflection, I think, of the wonderful things that are happening at IIM Indore.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much.